Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to look at some magnetos, old, medium, and fairly recent. So stay tuned. Hey guys, how's it going? We're going to look at some slick magnetos today. There's a couple different versions out there. There's a really old ones. We're not going to talk about those, but of the newer ones, we're going to talk about those today. So we've got a couple different for you. We've got the old throwaway magneto. As far as I'll call it the new generation magneto. These are about 40 years old probably. But Gen 1, which is the, this is a 4001 magneto. It's referred to as the throwaway. We're going to take one of those apart. I've never taken one apart actually, because I've always thrown them away. They're non-repairable, but I have seen them come in on engines. And customers asking me about overhauling them, and they basically are junk. So we'll talk about that. We have a 4200, same as a 6200 or 200 series magneto. Probably one of the best kept secrets out there. Older magneto, and we'll show you that. And then we've got the latest version, 4300, 6300 version, or the 300 series, and we'll show you what the current condition of those is, and kind of show you the design differences through the years of these guys. So let's get into it. I'm going to rearrange the lights, rearrange the workbench, and kind of set it up. So see you in a sec. Okay guys, we've got three different versions of magnetos. We have the old original slick throwaway magneto. This happened to be a 4001. We've got a 40, this is off of a Continental, a little 4-cylinder Continental, I believe. We have a 4251. This is off of a Lycoming. And then the replacement for that is a 4351. You can notice the second digit in these kind of indicating the series. These are the new, we'll call them a lightweight magneto. You can see some subtle differences in them. First thing giveaway on this, especially if you're looking at buying any used material, with the raised casting and all that, the raised marks, this is all, this indicates it's a early mark, unrepairable, dead giveaway. This here has a blue label. This is the 4200 or 6200 series. You'll see that with a blue label. And then you'll see the later one. This is normally a red label. Here, I've got one for you. Normally you'll see a red label similar to this. Magneto, this is just a core that we've got. But this one's been replaced by Kelly during one of their overhauls. And you see a couple little nuances here. You see a little snog here, a little bump out on the side of the later ones. You'll see the condenser or capacitor on the old one being much smaller. Couple little different things like that. What I've done is I've taken all these apart to the same level in that we don't have any gears on them, so we're just going to go start tearing them apart. So here we go. I'm going to move these out of the way. Okay, first things first, we'll take off the impulse coupling. We'll try the old one, see what's going on, see what this looks like. Should come off. The outer housing should come off if it's similar to the newer ones. Looks pretty much just like the later model housings. Inner housing appears to be the same. We'll see if our removal tool will work on it. And our removal tool will work on it, which is kind of cool. Okay. Let's see if it really will take it out. Boom. So impulse coupling comes off just like the later ones. So they really haven't changed a whole lot. The rivet design appears to be a little bit different. The gap on this seems to be quite excessive. The stop for the impulse coupling is quite it's a movable, adjustable deal. Looks like it was a first design. They made it where it was multi-adjustable. Now we'll get the others off. and everything looks pretty much the same. So same parts, same basic parts. Doesn't look like there was much design change in the impulse coupling at all. Same rivets, same basic rivets design, same stamping, same basic stuff. So doesn't look like there was a whole lot going on there. Anyway, we'll get these off, come back to you. Okay, we've got the impulse coupling housings off, and they all look to be about a very similar design. No real changes, design philosophy. It appears this shell, the original 4000 shell, is a little bit thinner. The tang is a bit thinner. Also, it's longer, but a bit thinner. Short of that, the design concept appears to be pretty simple, pretty consistent, so it's kind of cool. The the flyweight component appears to be very similar to the later model. No real design changes there. This tang here, this area here is a little bit different. That could be because of the lag. Not sure on that. But short of that, same basic design concept, riveted construction, whatnot. And again, carried through to the current configuration. This one's filthy, but same deal, riveted construction. Nothing really to write home about there. So that's all good. On the same basic chef configuration, the original version, the 4001, had looks like an adjustable factory preset before they came up with the dowel pin. Dowel pin was similar to the Bendix configuration. The dowel pin appears to be a little bit bigger in the 4300, but I can't say for sure. I'd have actually measured out. But short of that, basic configuration, nothing to write home about here. You can also see that this one sits quite a bit shorter than the others, about half an inch, about about a centimeter shorter than the others. So obviously these had some growth internal for some maintenance optimization, I'm sure. Okay, let's take them apart. Let's take the other side apart, see what we have. Now in the 4000 series, it is flathead screws, or common. They are countersunk screws. Nothing fancy going on. Come on. Get out. There we go. On the 4200, it's also flathead screws, but they went from a countersunk design to a round head design with a lock washer. So a little bit different. When they went to the 4300 or 300 series, they went to a Torx type screw, which, as much as I'm not a big Torx fan, it's a much better design, and I really do like it. So these are all pretty much just difference in that kind of stuff. On the 4001, you can see again the capacitor or condenser area is much smaller. It's a much different size deal, a little bit smaller. So obviously something changed in there, manufacturer sourcing. So that was the thing. Also, when we go to, there's no area for ground screw, so these would have had to have an external screw put onto them somehow, onto one of the housing screws. When we go to the 4300, 6300 series, we picked up a grounding lug, which is very nice. So a nice addition to the later model ones. So good stuff. So let's open the top, see what we have. Never opened one of these before. Okay. Now, as you would expect on these older ones, as soon as we open it, we are going to break timing. So the timing is going to change because the gears are no longer attached to each other. Same thing with the 4200. As soon as we open it up, the timing is disconnected, or the two gears are not engaging anymore. So that's kind of a deal. Same basic configuration. You can see same basic configuration. However, the installation of the gear and this is quite a bit different. Distributor gear and the carbon and all that, quite a bit different. And then the coil is a bit different also, held in with wedges just like the later ones. Let's see what we have in the 4300. 4300, we'll pop our condenser off. And this is the beauty of the 300 series magnetos. We can open up the back of the magneto, inspect the points, look at things, and we don't have we're not breaking the timing at all because the gear stayed intact. They moved the distributor block to the mounting of the internal housing. So that was something they did not do on the 4200, 6200, and they hadn't even thought about it on the early 4001. So kind of neat stuff there. So let's see what we have going on here. Pull this out, and this is before the timing. And again, what you'd have to do on this is, I don't know how, you don't have any visual port like a Bendix to check timing. So you'd have to get it up on E-gap and then stab it. And your E-gap, again, you can feel that when your magneto goes into that notch, that magnetic notch, that's E-gap. And then you would put it in. However, there's no pinholes as you have on the later units. There's no holes on the back of the distributor at all, as you have started on the 4200, your L and R holes. And then again on your 4300, 6300, your R, L, and X holes. So don't have any of that on the early ones. So you would assume you just put this on a P-lead and whatnot. The distributor block and all that configuration is, again, different. That's kind of different. The gear itself is very similar to the later 3008 gear and similar to the 510, 406, and 404 gear, but similar construction, but no holes or anything like that. The block, again, is kind of unique. Distributors, quite a bit different sizing, so that's a deal there. I don't know. And the block comes right out like that. So it just slides out. So they made it kind of ease of assembly for this, but again, not really ease of adjusting. Same basic gear as the 3827, very similar. 3827, 3828 gear, very similar. The point configuration is essentially the same. No real changes there. The coil is a little bit different. It's got a little bit longer tang, held in with wedges, whatnot. So then we go to the 4200 or 4200, 6200, and the coil, or pardon me, the distributor's held in with two screws, round head screws here. Take these out real quick. They should come out real quick. And these screws are, again, round head, which you'll find when we go to the 4300, 6300, that everything went pretty well Torx. And for the maintainer or for the assembler, it's just a whole lot better. So then this whole distributor block comes out of the back housing. We have the distributor, or pardon me, the condenser in here. This one here, we'll have to check that. We'll have to see how this one goes. This is 1984. This condenser is 40 years old, so it'll be interesting to see how that tests out. That'll be subject of another episode or so. Distributor block, kind of a modular distributor block, has our carbon in it. Same basic concept. Has this big snog on the back of it, and these basically disconnect. Gear comes out, and this particular magneto hasn't been cracked in a long time. It's got an old spec gear on it. Red coil, all that, so we'll have to definitely go through that. So that's kind of the way the distributor works on that. Again, 3827 type gear. This is actually a 3085, so this one hasn't been cracked in a long time. Bad news. But let's move on to 4300, 6300. Now we're into Torx fittings, which is, like I said, kind of neat. All Torx screws, whatnot. They're harder to round out, but it can be done. Okay, take the distributor block off. Again, the distributor block, they enhance these casting areas here. Rear casting, again, the design didn't change a whole lot on that, except they took the mounting from the aft housing to all in the main housing, which is kind of nice. Okay, same deal. It's got the same step and all that. In fact, these two units, where did I put the other part here? Whoop. Come on, baby, get together. These two units are essentially the same unit. They are the same unit, same replaceable part, and all that. That's the nice thing about the 4200, 6200, and the later 4300. Now, your overhaul shops will not take these in on core, but they're very repairable. The coils, the same coils fit both of them, same gears, same points, same gear, same distributor gear, same main gear, same carbon, same just basically same everything. So that makes these older 200 series very repairable. And then this one here has a couple of aluminum bushings to take the to space that block, kind of make up for that. And then we'll have to undo this here. We'll see what this has. A little bit of corrosion on this screw, that's kind of odd. Normally don't see much on that. Biggest thing is when you're maintaining an aircraft, don't pressure wash your magnetos, your alternator, anything really in the engine compartment does not need pressure washing. That's got some crap on it. Looks like it's been way over serviced with Loctite, so we'll get that sorted. Again, we'll pull this open here and we'll get this other screw out. All Torx fittings, all Torx screws and all that. Come on, baby, come on out. There we go. And then same deal as the 4200, 6200, two-piece. This has the later 510 406 gear, and that has an Inco follower, so it's a better design and all that. So this is a good gear on this one. This will have to be replaced by serviceable SB1-15. So this is, again, this housing here is the same as this housing here. Very replaceable and all that. So no real changes to that. Kind of neat to see. Again, the housings are different. They also, for keying on the housing on the 200 series, is they had a little dog on each end, a little tab, and that would key you up to get you locked in like that. Whoops, locked in like that. Guess it goes both ways. So that's the deal there. That's how they set that up. On the 4300, 6300, a little bit different. No real keying other than the screws. There's also a counterbore here for gaskets for the pressurized versions of the magnetos. You can always tell a pressurized version. I've got one over here. It'll have a fitting on it for the tube coming off of your turbo and all that. So that's a deal there. So that's what's going on there. Now let's look at what else can we mess with. The gear itself, the 3827, pardon me. The 3827, what's this got? This has a 3827 gear. Again, we'll pull it off. Work it off. Get this one off. And then this is the old 3085. It's been replaced by the 3826, 3827, depending on which magneto you have. This is a 3085, old. What's the number on this one? This one doesn't even have a number on the old one. But you can see it's about the same gear. No number at all. That's weird. Anyway, that's that gear here. That's your driving gear. Now we look at the point configuration. Basically, the point configuration is all the same. Our cam follower is same little deal here. Boom. Cam follower on this one. Same deal there. Little plastic deal. Looks like it's the exact same geometry. And it looks like it harkens back to this one that doesn't want to come out. That dude is stuck. Well, it's been in there so long it ain't coming out. So we're not going to worry about it because we're going to throw that one away anyway. Anyway, same basic concept, plastic cam follower. Okay, let's see what else we have. Now we have points. Go back to the points. Point configuration is essentially the same. We have a little slide-on fitting that goes to the coil. Boom. That geometry of the Magneto seemed to work rather well. Again, it's nothing much has really changed there. The 4200, all the points, screws on the points are pretty well slotted screws. Some have a Torx on one, and they'll have a slotted on the normally on the pivot. This is kind of an odd set of points here. So what do we have here? We have original. This looks like original. Zoop, put that over there. This is an original slick points. I kind of messed it up there when I was trying to get that other thing out. But original slick points there. This looks like, you look at them, it's basically the same exact part. So original slick. This hasn't been into in a hell of a long time. And then what do we have here? We have a set of, this says May 2016. Wasn't that long ago. And these are, looks like this is a set of Kelly points. So a little bit later, a little bit different design, but I think they've gone back to this type of design on their aftermarket stuff. So that's where we are here. Coils are held in, pardon me, not the coils, the magnets themselves are held in the 300 series with Torx. And then the priors are all with the flathead screws. You can see very small flathead screws, 3 of them on this early 4001, and then just 2 with steel tabs on the 200 and 300 series, and then 300 series picking up the Torx. So let me get all this stuff out. Okay, we're getting the last one out here. This has really been over service with Loctite. This has just been, it's like they dipped in a Loctite. Just a crap ton of stuff. So we'll get that. I like to use the Torx driver, and you can pivot these lock tabs out normally. There we go. Get that guy out. Again, the 4200, 6200 has the same lock tab configuration. Easy peasy. And then what the 4001 had, it was just 3 screws. So old style. Again, you can see, we'll take it out, take everything out, press these out. Let me go to the press and pull these out, and then we'll take a look at the rotors and see what they look like.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the 4001 rotor has a old school big ball bearing on the front. Race came out of it, so kind of interesting. The seal is a different configuration than what we have. The magnet, get that screw off there. Magnet is same. No real aid to help timing it. So again, Gen 1. Rear bearing is very inky dinky, very thin, very small. The man, this thing's filthy. This is why you need to check your magnetos every 500 hours. This thing's full of engine oil. This will end up getting new front and rear bearings. This thing's completely shot. It's got the metal cage cover on this thing. This thing is old as the hills. But again, it does have M005 bearing in the back, which is now, this is now a 3485. So this is old configuration. This has been in here a while. I can actually feel a little slop. But this thing's absolutely filthy. But you can see a little bit different configuration. They really beefed it up. This again would have a bearing on it, similar in size to that. Rear bearing was really almost very small. magnet size, where the core was as far as the magnet, a little bit different way they cut it. Same basic configuration, so that's kind of a thing. So on this one here, and we'll put it up. Now we go to our latest 4300, 6300, very similar. You look at it and go, well, they didn't really change anything. They did go with they've had some Koyo, I think, bearings, but they've got a phenolic shield on it. So I know when I see a metal one, just bearing technology, the folks don't build those anymore that way. Way too much, just taking this apart, way too much Loctite just swimming in this thing. And then somebody previously didn't have it in the vise quite correctly, but this one's not in too good a shape. The one thing they did incorporate is they incorporated timing lugs or timing slots for left and right hand rotation for your timing tool, your tool which goes in here and that goes against the frame when you're trying to time. So that's a real nice advantage to the 300 series. So quite glad that they ended up doing that for this. So it was a good improvement, made it a lot more runnable. What they did on these, if you had to time it, is you'd use the other end of the timing tool and you put it up against the here and the housing till you do your timing. So just a different way of doing it. Not as eloquent, but still easy to do, pretty easy to do. So that's what's going on there. Again, nothing really left in our housings except for our seal configuration and our coils. Again, they did do quite a bit of change in the coil. This coil kind of harkens back to the old 600 series coil, which had a big long tang on it, the big old monster case style magnetos. So still held in with 2 wedges, nothing really to write home about that. The housing, they actually did beef up the housing quite a bit, so it was kind of an improvement there. Then they went to the 200, again, had the snogs on the side. 300 ended up mounting the distributor block into the housing. Same coils, same basic housing machining, a little bit different on a few little attributes. As I said, the ground lug on the outside of the rear case, but in short, not a whole lot different. Beefed up this area so that they could thread the distributor block on. So that's about it. That's about it for the history of slick magnetos from the throwaway to the 200 series to the 300 series. Okay guys, that's about it for the little bit of history on slick magnetos. These two are going for a 500-hour inspection. That one is going in the trash can. So that's what's going on here. It's Thanksgiving, November in Texas. I think in every other country they call that Thursday. But anyway, getting ready to just had a couple minutes out in the shop. Figured I'd get dirty before I go get cleaned up. But that's it. What to look for and the differences in some of these magnetos. So have a good one. Catch you guys later. The channel is HangaRatz. This is, I think this is Hangar How To. And check us out on our other, I think it's up here. Check us out on some other videos. We've got a Hollywood Bomber series and some other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Be safe.